Yeah, my name is Riaz. I like the information that you all have shared with us today. And I too share the same concerns. And one of them is, how does this message go to the common man so that it can get politicized? And if I am trying to communicate that message in a simple formula or a simple statement, how can we make a statement of what we've discussed today that people must be aware of in terms of their right to privacy, the data that they own, and then how the government should have limited access, or the laws that need to be put in place to protect the citizens from these kind of data collections?
In terms of the messaging to the poor, it's a very complex issue. It can't be simplified. I'm being very frank. When you look at the whole issue of NRC, what's being spread is that the government's coming after you and you are going to be put in a detention center, right? But that's a form of surveillance itself, that the government is going to try find you and put you in a detention center. And this is not the message which some of us built. It's the message that people realized. Once people understand what the issue is, everyone will bring in their own narratives. It's different for different individuals. For NPR, for example, it's different for the LGBTQ community whose parents disown them, that how do I bring my parents' documentation to establish my citizenship? Everyone has their own narratives, and it will only be built, and one can't really set the narrative. Once people realize it, I think more narratives will flow in.
To answer the person who asked about tactics and messaging, from my own work with technology and explaining technology to people, I have found counterintuitively that you should not simplify your message. You should translate your message, but you should not simplify it. These are two very different things. People talk different languages. And when I say language, I don't just mean English, Hindi, Marathi, Bangla, Tamil. I mean they talk different languages. They have a different episteme to engage with ideas. You need to translate what you are talking about, if you are talking about technology, or for that matter, rights, laws, activism, whatever, to their language. That doesn't mean dumbing it down. I have explained AI in chaste Hindi to workers who work in the factories of Manesar, Gurgaon region about how automation is going to take their jobs. I did not simplify what AI is. I, however, had to look up what is AI called in Hindi. Of course, it's completely irrelevant to them. You can just say AI or whatever the Hindi word is, which is Kritim Buddhimatta, by the way. They don't understand the English one or the Hindi one, so I have to explain the concept. But the point is, don't be condescending towards people you are doing activism with. Treat them as intelligent political actors and translate your complex ideas to whatever language they are using. If you can explain it well, they will understand it well. One of the, like I'm a science person, one of the key aphorisms in science is, if you write a science paper and your grandmother or your 6-year-old nephew cannot understand it, it's a bad paper. So, you need to be better at explaining. People are smart, people have brains.
How do we explain to other people? I think this is an important thing, that there is a certain kind of benefit that this tech exceptionalism has, that only certain kinds of people understand technology, or only certain kind of, I don't know, like even the conventional movements wisdom that we have had over years is not utilized in the case of technical things, simply because only certain kinds of people are seen as experts. If you look at the Yogyakarta principles, for example, where you look at LGBT rights, I think one of the principles says that where it is not needed, you don't need to have like data points like, for example, gender on your marks card. It doesn't go to the details of that, but the point is, where there is no reason for legibilizing certain kinds of data, you don't have to do that. And these kinds of understandings, these kinds of wisdom exists. But the fact of making this an exceptional kind of thing that only technologists can understand and talk about is kind of harmful in general for the conversation.